Well, good evening, y'all. It's a little bit, well, I'm about 12 hours behind, maybe 13 hours behind my normal live stream. But it is Saturday, August 1st, 2026, 7:45 p.m. instead of, around 7 o'clock in the morning. Just busy day today. Get up, did a lot of stuff. Finished up that little tube, transmission filler tube for the Dodge. Yeah, and I know it's not a big deal and not a big project or anything, but I don't play well with metal working and everything, and I just took my time. It looks terrible, but it works, so that's a good thing. So, hey, Philip. All right, buddy. I didn't want to bother you in case there was some races on again, my friend, but I know that's tomorrow, isn't it? But yeah, all right, cool. Cool. Again, I'm out in the shed seeing how this works. Seems to be working good again for the second time. So we got some storms coming in tomorrow, and I might try and do a live stream out here tomorrow also. And if I still get a good signal, if we don't have any problems, well, then I will invest the time to set up a little area because this is where I want to do the. Yeah, it's Chris, my wife. He's pushing me and the podcast further and further out the house. Well, no, not really, but I'm sure this is a better setup for her as well. But this is where I originally wanted to do the live streams and everything. It was out here in the shed, hence the name Sidewinder Shed. But with the old computer and stuff, I just wasn't getting a good signal, couldn't do it. But now this seems to be working, so we'll give this a shot. And pardon me for a second. Jeez. I got the fan going out here. I need a haircut because you see all that hair waving around? Well, it's tickling the hell out of my forehead. Yeah, well, would you argue with Chris? I'm not gonna. I personally enjoy sleeping in my own bed with both eyes closed at night. So yeah, I'm not gonna argue with her. But yeah, no, no, just this is where I originally wanted to set everything up, and now I will do it. All right, we got Philip.
Back.
Hey, Philip, how you doing, buddy?
Doing good. Let me kind of play with my camera here a little bit, get things adjusted right.
I got you, my friend. No problem.
There we go. That's a little better. So it's up.
Oh, not too much, not too much. I'm sorry. I'm just.
Don't work. So it gets me to thinking. And I also saw something about how to do a hard restart on your ECU.
Oh,
So,
okay.
because see, the first thing I thought of was I was just going to start tearing into the bike and get down to the starter itself, you know? But that is so labor intensive. And you got to handle that thing with kid gloves because there's little plastic clips
Oh
and
my
stuff
God.
that
Yes.
you break them. That's it. The bike will start rattling and,
Yep.
and crap like that. So I've decided to take a wait and see attitude really to see what I can find out first. And I think it's starting to pay off now, because it's making me think of a lot of other things first. Uh, but yeah, there's got to be at least a dozen different reasons why it won't start, and a lot of it has to do with the how they program the ECU, how they design the bike, and all these safety switches and all this other stuff, that any one of these other things could be bad first.
Oh yeah.
So before you go tearing the bike halfway apart just to get to a starter, because you could do that. You could tear it apart, put in a new starter,
And still have the same problem.
and unfortunately, you got to put the bike back together before you can test to see if it
Yep.
was even the problem. So you're out $1,000 in a brand new starter to find out you didn't need that.
Yep.
I already did that with the starter relays on it, but those weren't so bad. Those were like, I think it was $175 for both of them. So, and
What year is that bike again?
that's a 2008.
2000. Oh, okay.
So, but so being out $175 to find out that it's not the relays that were the problem,
Well, the way I look at it now, you got 2 spare relays in case the one.
Well,
ever goes bad.
that's just it.
Yeah.
I should have tested them, but before, but I just went straight to the relays because they weren't making any noise or anything. So I'm like, well, these relays are bad. Well, after I get the new ones, put the new ones in, it still didn't solve the problem. And it was at that point that I realized I should have tested them other ones first. And I did do a continuity test on the old ones that I took out, and they proved to be good. So
Yeah.
go figure,
Oh, I got you, man. I got you. Electronics on everything, and we've had this conversation before, be it cars, refrigerators, washing machines,
No matter what it is.
whatever. It's I mean, it's great when everything is working, and the brand new, I mean, it is wonderful. It's one of those things that you have no issues with. Everything works perfect. They run
Everything works fine until it
great.
don't.
Yep. And then all of a sudden, yeah, that's the thing too.
Then it's the biggest headache in the world. In
Oh my
fact, there was one other thing that I saw. Now I was on. This guy was talking about he had a newer Honda. I think it was like a 2018. But he's pointing out that if the battery in your key fob goes dead, your bike ain't going to start either.
Oh,
So I got to thinking about that. I'm like, geez, I got no idea what the battery is like in the key fob. But I didn't think the key fob did anything because you can't start the bike with it.
right.
I thought it was just this handy little remote control so you can pop the trunk and pop the side bags and you can turn on and off the alarm on it.
Yeah.
That's all I thought the key fob was for. So after seeing that video, I went down there because I left the key in the bike because I figured ain't no one going to steal it. They can't get it started. I can't get it started,
Yep.
So I went down to the barn and got the key out of it and brought it up here to the house and got the battery out of the key fob. And that's a lot harder than it sounds. But in fact, I sat there and struggled with one of these little tiny screwdrivers trying to pick the back off of the key fob,
Yep.
And here's the thing. You're supposed to only clock it about 10 degrees.
Okay,
There's a
yeah.
lock and unlock position. You got to
Yep.
clock it only about 10 degrees. And then but you still can't get the cover off.
Right.
And you're sitting there digging at it with a little screwdriver or a pick trying to pull that cover off. Can't get it off. But about the time you start getting frustrated with it and you turn it upside down, the damn thing just falls off.
Yep. Oh, I got you. I
So,
And
but I
Eric-
got that out and checked the battery. Well, I was going to just go ahead and replace the battery, but I've already learned my lesson there. I thought, well, I'll test the battery first. And sure enough, it's only those little, you've seen those little disc batteries, those little
little
coin
round,
batteries.
Yep.
Well, I didn't know that they were supposed to be 3 volts. And when I saw the 3 volts on the battery, I thought, well, that can't be right. There ain't no way in hell these things can be 3 volts. But I tested it, and sure enough, that battery was perfectly good. It had 3¼ volts in that little tiny battery. So that can't be the problem,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll be honest with you, Philip. I never even would have crossed my mind. I didn't even think, motorcycle and key fob.
Yeah. Yeah. But here's another thought too. Maybe changing out that battery, the whole damn ECU went into a hard lockout. Because I've experienced that before
Yeah.
on other equipment, other home appliances that'll do that if they don't sense a certain thing. So maybe that was it. Maybe at the time I didn't have the key or something when I disconnected the battery, and then the whole damn thing goes into a hard lockout and just won't let it start. I don't know.
Yeah,
And I'll bet you dollars to donuts, because I'm sitting there thinking, why would they even design a thing like this? Well, I'll tell you what, any guy with just the most basic skills of knowledge could easily hotwire and steal a bike. So this is probably something that they've designed into the ECU. And when guys start tampering,
yep.
well, it'll shut the bike off, won't let it go again,
Oh, yeah. And, like Eric was saying, and Eric, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
buddy, it's almost 2:00 where he's at. But anyway, Harleys. Yeah, I've seen a big switch on top of the tank. Usually
Yep.
that has a lockout.
Yeah.
You can lock that switch with a key. And I mean, on the older bikes, you didn't even need the key fob or anything. It was just a switch, and you didn't have to have a key in it. It had a lock. You could lock it in whatever position you wanted. Lock it in when you had it turned off. That was common.
The newer Honda Goldwings are the same way. You have to have that key fob because it's just a knob on the dashboard that you turn. There's no key to it. But yeah, the key fob's got to be by the bike. So, and with that being said, because I got a second set of keys to that bike, and I just been keeping, because the second set also has key fob on. I've just been keeping it in the trunk, and I figure if I lock the trunk, can't no one get to that key fob. But you know what? They don't need it. They can still get on the bike and drive it.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's also a spare key hidden on the bike in a special spot, but it doesn't have the key fob, so that key wouldn't do you any good anyway. Let's say that there's no key fob with the bike, the spare key hidden on the bike, you can, if you know where the spare key is, and you get it out and you put it in the ignition, you might be able to start the bike with it, but once you try to move with it, and it senses no key fob in the area, it'll just kill the bike and won't let it start again.
But chemically dependent. He wanted to know, can you, just jump the starter to see if the starter's working at all?
Well, that was my original thought. When I started having problems with it, I thought, well, there's no power going to the starter or the starter itself is bad. So I thought I'd just start tearing down into it and get right to the starter and put a 12-volt source right on the starter and see if it'll spin. But there's another thing, and I've seen a number of videos like this now too, like 3 or 4 videos where the guys are saying you can't jump start your motorcycle because it screws up the electronics in it.
Yeah.
And I know I've been doing that. The battery was getting low on it, so I'd be putting it on the charger. And the bike would start. It was the one last time, instead of putting it on the charger because it was dead, and I jump started it with a jump start pack. And they tell you don't do that. They tell you don't jump it with a pack. Don't jump start it with a car with a running engine. You can screw all that up. So I don't know.
Oh, shit. Yeah, Eric says on a VW, you can still start the car without a battery in the
you got to put it right at it.
Touch it right where the key used to be. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I've known of that one because that lady friend of mine I told you has got that Jeep. Her key fob went bad in it. And so the first thing I did was look that up to see what's going on there. And there's a guy that's I've mentioned him before. He's a guy he's on YouTube all the time talking about Chryslers and working on Jeeps and Dodges and stuff like that. He works at a dealership as a mechanic. And he pointed that out, that if your key fob goes dead on you, just touch the key fob to the ignition button, because they just got a push button on there.
Oh, I gotcha.
And here's another thing, too. You go to the AutoZones and the O'Reillys. And they got all this garbage that you can buy. And one of the things that's popular is this little ring that goes around the push button start.
Yep. Yep.
And it's like got little rhinestones in it. And women are buying them to cutesy
Oh, yeah.
up their little start buttons. Well, don't do that. Don't buy them things because it interferes with the reception of that key fob.
Oh, no shit.
Around that, if you take that switch apart, you'll see a little ring around the push button. It's got like a million wraps of copper wire all the way around it. You know,
Oh, okay.
it's
Yeah.
almost like a little. What's the word I'm looking for? Like a magnetic field kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like a field coil is what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say. And those little cutesy rings, beauty rings, they interfere with that.
Oh, no shit. Well, yeah. And here, here I bitch about my Dodge, which is a 92, which has the most basic computer system in it.
Yeah.
And that's still too much for me.
Yeah. Makes me wish I never got rid of my 85 Chevy Stepside because that was the last year for carburetors,
yeah.
last year for the wooden bed, and last year with no electronic controls. Because the very next year, 86, they started doing a computer-controlled throttle body fuel injection on them.
Gotcha. Yeah.
You know? And yeah, so I should have never got rid of that 85. Matter of fact, that's why it doesn't surprise me that much that the first time I mentioned that I had a truck for sale to somebody, they wanted to buy it.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
You know, because they already knew.
Yeah, good Lord. Now my first truck I ever bought was a 69 Ford F-250 4x4. And I actually had 3 of them. I also had a 70. I wish, there's things you do when you're 17, you just don't know.
Yeah.
I had I picked up me and a friend of mine, we went in halves on it. We picked up a 1970 F-350 camper special, single wheels, but step side, full 8-foot step side. Well, Ford calls them a flare side, but step side bed. And we called it the Sally truck. I mean, it was tired. It was a little rough, but man, it was such a gorgeous. I wish I had that bed. I really wanted to keep that bed, but I let my buddy. He paid me the other half for it, and he had my original truck that I'd bought, my first truck, and he was trying to fix it up and everything. And he was going to put that 8-foot step side on it, and on a 4x4, and that would have looked really nice. He was out behind his father's shop working on it, and he was using a gas wrench, and he set the whole field on fire.
Yeah.
Burnt up the truck and everything. It was just not worth fixing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At the time, yeah. And here's the funny part: the fire department was literally right next door, and it took them 20 minutes to get there.
Yeah. Yeah, probably a volunteer fire department. They all had to come from their house to get to the station first.
No,
that's how it is out here.
Actually, it was full regular fire department and
Oh, yeah?
everything. And the problem was there was some issues going on. Now, I know they didn't get along too well, the shop and the fire department. And 2, their biggest thing was, well, we haven't been dispatched. And he's like, look, the field's on fire. You guys are next because you're right next door to me. How about? And he's running over there, to get them.
Yeah.
No, still took 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, but,
we're pretty much screwed out here because we don't have any fire hydrants or anything out here. You're just out in the country. You get a fire out here, you're just screwed.
Oh,
fires broke out here. Thousands of acres would burn because there's just no way to put it out. And all the fire departments are pretty much volunteer.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, good Lord. So, anyway, like I said, I got that Dodge back together now. I'm gonna run it a little bit tomorrow, make sure everything's not leaking.
Yeah.
And then
You get the mess cleaned up pretty good.
did I
With
what?
the spilled oil? Did you get that cleaned up?
Fairly decent, fairly decent. You know, of course, it left a dark stain
Yeah.
on the driveway, but yeah, I'm gonna get some of that. Well, what we used to call speedy dry. They have all sorts of names for it. You know, basically the shop cat litter that you put down for oil.
Yeah. Right.
That does a real good job, and I'll brush that in with the big broom, and then stomp on it, walk over it, have the
Right.
grandkids come over and play in it, and that gets all that stuff soaked up.
Yeah.
And it usually does a pretty good job of cleaning it up. But and it's I don't know what I'm going to do next. You know, like I said, I want to get some projects going here and do some more videos because I've been really lacking. I've either done the projects and not done any videos doing them, or like right now, just these little tiny annoying projects.
Yeah.
Doesn't make for real good content, but it makes at least some content.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm just trying to figure out. I got all sorts of stuff to do, but do I want to do it and video it at the same
Yeah.
time? That's such.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work, especially when you don't have somebody else holding the camera for you.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to have a camera mount or something or devise something.
Yeah,
That's like with me. I just got a little benchtop little mini vise, that I work with.
Yeah, I got several of these tripods, believe it or not, because they're cheap enough, Philip, that I keep forgetting where I put them. So I've now ended up with 4 of them because for $15 I just grab another one. Kind of like the 10 millimeter.
Yeah.
I mean, what the hell? You set it down, next thing you know, it's gone. So
Yeah.
you just go pick up another one, and you're like, man, I know I have at least 1,000 of them around here somewhere.
I've only had 2 10 millimeters in my whole life, and I still got them.
Oh, do you?
Never lost one. Never lost one.
Don't jinx yourself, sir.
But that's because a lot of stuff I work on, you don't use metric anyway. So,
I got you. And Eric, I didn't mean to be ignoring you, buddy. All people are talking about cars, trucks with problems. I don't understand. I'm probably arrogant. I drive Toyotas, and my biggest problem is just maintenance. Yeah, well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean,
where we're getting stumped is it's not anything bad about the vehicle. It's about the electronics.
Yeah.
That they're putting in them, and hold on just a second. That's one of the issues that I have is they're getting worse and worse about it. That they're designing the things so that not just anybody can work on them.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And
matter of fact, that you know how the old OBD2 systems were, and you had to have a code reader just to get into that. Yeah. And that was an upgrade from the OBD1s. And right about time that the OBD2 system was pretty much became commonplace and people understood it and had all their code readers, then they changed that.
Yeah.
They changed the way the codes are written. And now anything, I think it's after 2008 doesn't work.
Yeah. And I mean, it's one of the things with the Dodge too. That's got the old OBD1 system in it.
Yeah.
I can't go to O'Reilly's because they don't have the tool that still plugs into it that will read it.
Yeah.
But fortunately, there's not a whole lot of systems on there that you really need a code reader for it. But you can also it's one of the old ones where you can turn the ignition on, off, and then turn it on 3 times, I think it is, and then it read the engine light
code. Yeah.
And that would work great if my engine light wasn't burnt out.
Yeah.
So I have
that's what it does. That's what that Corvette does too. You can check the trouble codes without having to have a code scanner. You just I think it is just like you say, you turn the key on and off 3 times and it'll flash your codes. But here's another thing too, the what they call the environmental control, which is the heating and air conditioning in the car. It's altogether a standalone system altogether. and it gives its own flash codes, so you need
Yeah.
to know what that is. But fortunately enough on that, I've got two big old thick manuals on Corvette, so I'm not worried about that.
I
And
gotcha. Yeah, I blew a guy's mind. And hold on, I don't want to ignore Eric, but Eric, Eric says my Toyota mind. Why would you work on a car? In
yeah,
other words, he's saying, yeah, and
yeah.
I agree. A lot of Toyotas really low maintenance. If you keep up with the regular stuff, and that's awesome. Um,
Well, not only that, but those cars are designed for the markets that they're sold in.
yeah.
And what's going on with European models are not the same as what's going on here in stateside models.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, they're different. It's a different creature altogether.
But talking about the manuals, I got just the here it is. I got just a little
Yeah,
Chilton's manual, for the Dodge and everything. And I was talking to a few guys, younger guys, and again, like I said last time, I don't mean to pick on these guys at all. They don't know.
yeah,
He's again with the throttle body. I had to explain to him it wasn't a carburetor, even though it
yeah.
said Hawley and everything. And so
yeah.
this book here is nice. It's got a whole section on the throttle bodies in it. It's not bad.
Well,
Uh,
Holly's making the Holly sniper system. Have you seen
oh
that?
yeah, yeah, oh yeah.
That looks exactly like a carburetor, but it's not.
Yeah, I'm getting a call from Jared Thompson, and I don't know who that is.
Well, just let it ring.
Yeah,
He'll
I'm
text you if it's that important. But
yeah.
listen, I got to get off of here myself. So I'm going to let you go. Okay.
All right, buddy. Yeah, and I know I ordered some pizza, and it should be here shortly. That might be who's calling. It's
Could
my
be.
pizza guy.
Yeah. Want to know
All
where
right.
you're at?
Yep. All right, buddy. I'll talk to you later, and yeah, I think
All
I'm gonna
right.
add this also.
All right.
So
We'll see you later.
we'll see you tomorrow. I'll probably be on tomorrow. All right. You all take care, and thank you all for hopping in. Eric, you have a good evening. I'm gonna see if that's my food guy. So y'all take care. We'll catch you later.